Tanchika Kyokio, Delmagrindish Nakashon, Me Tone, Nimiwayano Anocht. Time for lesson 6, I believe, of Michif. So my name is Dale McCreary. I'm really doing good today. Me Tone is really. Okay, there's a couple of things I want to go over today. I'm going to start with some transitive animate verbs. Oh, no, I'm not. We're going to go with some weather words and explain a few things that we've already gone over. So you remember from last time we talked about Nishtoktam, he understands, or asking Kegwai Nishtoktak, what does he understand? Now there's something a little bit confusing about that I think I can make easier by explaining something. So in Cree, when you have an M or an N and you add a K or a T after it, you end up with an H instead. To give you an example, I say Nishtoktam. Now you add a K to the end after the M, you end up with Nishtotam. You don't end up with Nishtotamk, you end up with Nishtotak. And this happens a lot in the language. And so I'll definitely be referencing back to this in the future. So I say, what do you know? You, what is it that you know? Well, I want to say, what does he know? I say, magegwe tak. Magegwe, I remember kegwe is something. When I say nothing, I can just say nothing, no before it. I can either say no kegwe, or else, you remember back at the beginning we said tanshikia, and the answer was mana andao, which nothing is the matter. Ma is a kind of a short form of saying nothing. No. So I want to say no thing. I'd say ma ke gwe, magegwe. Or I could say nogegwe. So I want to say he doesn't know anything. There's nothing that he knows. I would say magegwe ikshkeitaman. Or there's nothing that you know. Oh, I'm so used to talking to people to their face, it's hard for me to talk about them behind their back. Okay. Let's go back with Robert. Okay. Robert magegwe ikshkeitak. Or Robert kshkeitam kegwe. Robert knows something. What does Robert know? Kegwe Robert ikshkeitak. Magegwe ikshkeitak Robert. There's nothing that he knows. You can say, I want him to know something. Dawe ten. Well, actually, I can't really say that because then I have to use a different verb. Okay. But the main thing I wanted to teach you there was that M or N changes to H. Now, we're going to move on to some weather words. So, I don't know, have you ever met anybody named Kimawan? Or Nodin? Or Yotin? Well, I met somebody with each of those names. Kimawan means rain, and Yotin means it's blowing. So Kimawan means it's raining, maybe. So if I want to say Isigao is day. So now I'm going to start building a little pattern for you. Gisigao is a verb, and it means day. It means it is day. I want to say it's a good day. Remember how the word we used for good all the time? That little preverb, mio, that gets added onto other words? Okay, mio gisigao. It's a good day. Now, remember how to say, I'm doing good. Nimio ayan. Now, remember how to say, how are you doing? Well, it was a little bit more complicated. Okay, it was a lot more complicated. It was tanshi eshiayan. So tanshi, how, ishe ayayen. How is it? Tanshi, ishe, that it is. Aya are yen, you. So tanshi eshiayan. Or what's the how of how you're doing? I'm not even sure how to translate that. But anyways, that ishe at the beginning is a good part of asking how something is. So if I want to ask, how is the day today? Or in other words, what's the weather? I would say, Tanshe Eyeshe Gishigag. Tanshe Shigishigag. Anoch. Anoch means today. Now you'll notice that, again, that ended in a K. Tanshe Shigishigag. Well, that's because this is a new kind of verb yet, a third kind of verb. We call it an inanimate, intransitive verb. and that means that it's something that's doing it is dead. Well, I don't know. A day is kind of not even a real thing. But if I would say the table is hard, that would be inanimate intransitive. If I were to say that house is old, or that house is pretty, well, I would use a different word than if I were to say that person is pretty. I would say "Miu nago shu ni mama," my mom looks good, or "Miu nago shu ni papa," my dad's handsome. But I wouldn't say. But for a house, I would say "Miu na guan ma maison." I could say "Miu na guano ma maison." If I was pointing at my house, this here, or my house, ma maison, miu na guan. It looks good. Now, there aren't as many possible endings for these types of verbs, really. Uh, there's just your main one, gisigao, miu na guan, kimawan, and then there's the one that you use after question words. For example, and that's where you add a K to the end. Now take kimawan. You want to say, I like it, I like that it's raining. We're going to take kimawan and we're going to add a K to the end. Nimiwehten ka kimiwank. Well, we can't have that NK. It's going to be an HK because that N's got to change to make it sound right. Nimiwehten ka kimawak. Or, I like it that it's raining, or that it did rain. Kagi kimawak. Gimiwehten. There, I liked it that it was raining, that it rained while I was working. Gimiwehten ka kimawak etoshkeyan. Or kagietoshkeyan. I liked it that it was raining while I was working. What's the weather? Tanishe eshigishigak. There, gishigao. We take that little W off and we add a K. Tanshe eshigishigak. How is the day today? Well, you would say, oh, miugishigao. It's a nice day. Miugishigao anoch. Or I could say, mayugishigao anoch. It's a bad day today. You could say, or let's go with windy. Yotin. You could say, Tanshe shigishigak. How is the weather? You'd say, oh, yotin. It's raining. Or sorry, it's blowing. It's windy. Or I could say, oh, kimawan. So I'm going to ask you, how's the weather? And I want you to tell me either it's raining or it's blowing. Tanshe shigishigak. Yotin. Kimawan. Or you can say, it's a good day. Miugisagao. It's a good day. So I'm not going to teach you a whole lot of these words right yet. I'll give you a couple every lesson. But that's an introduction anyways. Yotin, kimawan, miwayao. No, miugisagao or gisagao. Just to say it's daytime, right? One other word I can give you is tipishgao, gishigao, tipishgao. That means it's night. So I could say megwach means now. I could say tipishgao megwach. It's nighttime now. Or gishigao megwach. It's daytime now. That sounds kind of stunted or kind of a strange way of saying it though. Okay, you could say, I went walking while it was raining. Remember the word pimohteo, to walk? I think I only said it once in a previous lesson. Pimohteo, he is walking. So you say, I'm walking. Bimohtan. You say, I went walking. Ngi pimohtan. So I was walking. So you could say, while I was walking and it rained. Ngi pimohtan. Ikimawak. That actually doesn't seem quite the easiest way to say that. I think an easier way would be to say, it was raining while I was walking. So you would say, Kimawan, egi pimohteyan. Kimawan, egi pimohteyan. Or, it was windy while I was singing. Yotin, inagamoyan. Or, Yotin, imitchoyan. It was windy while I was eating. Yotin, etoshkeyan. Or Kimawan, etoshkeyan. It was raining while I was working. Or I don't like it when it's raining. Moyan miwehten oma kakimawak. I don't like it that it's raining. Or I don't like to work when it's raining. Moyan miwehten shietoshkeyan ikimawak. Or I don't like to work while it's windy. Moya nimiwehten shietoshkeyan yotik. Again, yotin ends in that N, so when we add a K on, it changes to an H. So moya nimiwehten shietoshkeyan yotik. I can say my mom's not going to come if it's raining. Actually, that's already too complicated. Don't come. Kayape tohte yohteke. Again, that's also another, what do you call that? If statements. Those if statements are a thing that we'll have to look at later. Okay. I actually think that's good for now, so I'm just going to stop this lesson right here. First, review a little bit what we've done. I don't remember back to the beginning of this lesson. It's too far away. Well, okay. Kegwai kagiostak. What is it that he did? Kegwai kawapahtaman. What is it that you see? Or what is it that you saw? Kikske tenchi kegwai kagimichoyan. Do you know what I ate? Oh, that's wrong again. It's kagimichi-yan. That's a different type of verb. Okay, did you know that I slept? Kigikske tenchi kaginipayan or kanipayan. Kigikske tenchi kanipayan. I say my boss didn't know that I wasn't working. Moya mo boss gikske tam eka etoshkeyan. Remember again that eka, which is the negative word that we use in those types of question in the verbs that come after questions or in second sentences. It sounds like such a complicated way to say things. Okay, moya mo boss gikske tam eka etoshkeyan. Eka etoshkeyan. Moyan mama gikske tam Hande Kaapiyan. Hande means where. My mom didn't know where I was sitting down. Moyan mama sketen Hande Kaapiyan. Man, some of these sentences sound so nonsensical. Anyways, I'm going to stop there. See you again next lesson.